All right, cool. Okay, great. Well, in case anybody's on here that doesn't know who I am, I'm Sandra Rathie with the Weston office. Weston, Florida. I should say that because I know we've got a few people from out of the area on here. And I am the Luxury ALC chair. So this is part of what I'm doing to give back to the office and to fellow agents across the country that want to join us. And today we have an amazing agent from California, Chuck, joining us. And I met Chuck actually through MAPS coaching. We share the same coach, which I think is pretty cool. And we actually did a luxury panel in New Jersey together. So I thought he would be a great resource to join us here. And especially for us in South Florida, California tends to be one of those, people move a lot from there to here. So I thought that would be a great resource for you guys, great connection for possible referrals as well. So good morning, Chuck, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And, it's always so humbling to be asked to be on a panel or to be talking to people about something like luxury, because there are so many people who do so much more luxury and are so incredible at it. And yet what I know, and of course, what probably everyone on this call knows, is you fake it till you make it. And it really is about an attitude and a way of thinking about your work and realizing that, no, of course you can do this. Of course I'm a luxury agent. Of course the majority of my business is over 1.5. Of course, and yet that self-perception isn't quite there. So it's always really humbling to be asked to be doing something like this. And thank you.
You're welcome, Chuck. And you are very humble. And that's one of the reasons that, we love to have you speak to us, because you are that person that appreciates everything that you have and everything that you receive as a result of that. You're truly got a great heart. And I think that shines through in everything you do.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about Chuck. Who is Chuck? What was your background before real estate? I think people always like to hear, what's the backstory? What happened that got you here? And, what was the career before and why did you make that change? Because I know you had a great career outside of real estate. So what made you make that change?
Yeah, all right. So two big questions there, right? Well, one, where I'm from rural Jackson, Michigan, which is, for all of you who don't know, it's right there. I never, ever dreamed of being in the role that I am right now and serving luxury clients and ultra high net worth and high net worth clients. And it just wasn't on my radar. I was going to be a minister in a Lutheran church. That's why I went to college, right? That didn't happen. But I did go into public health, and I spent 20 years in public health, mostly in women's reproductive health. And so I went all over the country. I was the director of training for the largest family planning program in the country. And so I went all over the country training mostly nurses and nurse practitioners, but some doctors and medical assistants and teachers and lots of people on how to talk to their clients or their parishioners. I had a lot of ministers I trained as well, for instance. On how to talk to clients about some of the most intimate parts of their lives. So I'd done it for 20 years and I was just done, right? I was just done. I didn't have the mojo anymore. I didn't have the passion anymore. I had a master's in public health. I thought that would take me over to the next level. And I realized I didn't want to be in administration. And I didn't want to be in pharmaceutical sales, which is another really great option. So I joined my then partner, John Barentine, in his business in real estate. And as I like to say, I slept my way to the top. People say that like it's a bad thing. I don't know why they do, but it's not true. I didn't. I actually was the highest performing buyer's agent on the team and just kind of slipped into the partner role when the opportunity came in. So I switched in 2010 during the depth of the Great Recession. What a great time to get into real estate. It's kind of the same thing right now. Anybody who gets into real estate in this market, right, and can succeed in this market, you know how to do it, right? You're going to be able to succeed in any market, right? And so many people have joined in the last 5 years, for instance, are having a real wake-up call, although some people obviously were doing all the right things already and are going to continue being successful. But for me, getting started in 2010 was boot camp. It was nose to the grindstone and just plugging out the contacts and the appointments and being on the phones for 2 to 3 hours a day and door knocking for 2 hours a day and really getting my skills up high in that particular capacity, which are now rusty. And I'm pulling them back out and of course, back to the 2 hours of door knocking a day and an hour or two of phone calling a day.
Did you say 2 hours of door knocking a day?
2 hours of door knocking a day.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about that. That's not something that a lot of luxury agents are doing.
Well, in LA, luxury is considered 2.5 million and above. Having said that, the neighborhoods I work in are mostly 1.8 and above, right? So I'm knocking on doors that are 1.8 teardowns and $3.5 million, in decent shape, right? Not great shape, just to be clear, but in decent shape, right? Which really kind of gets to the whole thing of, well, what does luxury even mean, and why are we calling this luxury? And of course, the clients that I'm knocking on the doors of are the people who, write the scripts for us, right? In various professions, they are the CEOs of their companies, and they own their own businesses. They're entrepreneurs, and they know exactly what I'm doing when I'm knocking on their door, right? So there's a certain amount of appreciation for that, or disdain, right? Because every now and then someone will say, I would never work with someone who knocks on the door. That's so demeaning. And it's like, wow, that's really interesting. You should say that. I actually had someone say that to me once and said, well, that's very interesting. So this is a relationship business, right? Would you agree that the real estate's a relationship business? Well, yeah. So where else am I going to meet a high percentage of people and start a relationship so that we can start having that trust and confidence over time? Already, he still slammed the door, don't get me wrong, but he had to think about it before he slammed that door, right? People
Chuck,
appreciate
I love that.
hard work.
I love that. Not only that you said that to him, but the mindset that you had when you said that to him. And I think for everybody on this call, I think that's a mindset that everybody really needs to kind of, absorb that and understand that this is your opportunity to meet people, not look at it as solicitation, but, getting in front of people that are in that price point. And how else would you meet them? I love that.
Yeah, because I door knock 2,000 homes every 3 to 4 months. Just keep coming around and around and around and around. And what I can tell you is 1,960 of them are not selling right now. Right? Or this year. But 40 of them are going to. So, I got to find those 40 before someone else snags them.
So Chuck, you actually have a schedule, like you have a plan and a process and a schedule for doing your door knocking. It's not just a random, today I'm just going to door knock.
Yeah, no, there are 5 very specific neighborhoods, defined neighborhoods that we very intentionally targeted years ago. There was one specific neighborhood that we started, and there's about 400 single family homes. And I only hit the single family homes. I'm not worrying about the duplexes and the condos and things like that. I'm being very focused. Single family homes, it's what I like to do. So that's what I'm really focusing on. Single family homes in areas that have specific price points. And then I ink blot it out from there, right? Because we want to get that presence. And I think most of the people we talk, Andrew Bloom, other great agents from around the country, and they'll talk to you about getting that core first and then moving out from that core.
I like it. Are you?
And I very intentionally, I could have gone to a higher turnover but lower price point south of where I am, and ink blotted south, but I chose to go to a higher income, slightly less turnover area, moving west of the neighborhood that I started in, and just kind of started getting the entire area And now, you know, the majority of homes they're selling are about 2.2 million in those areas.
Nice, nice. So you purposely went after luxury. It didn't
Like
happen by
purposely.
chance. It's you setting your plan, setting your goals, and making it happen.
Right. And, you know, one of the big questions that people have is, well, how do you get in front of luxury clients? Right? Because it's all about relationship. Right? How do you form that relationship and get in front of them so that they will even consider using you when the time comes for them to buy or sell real estate? And there are people here in town. There's one amazing Keller Williams agent named Pete Bonacore in our Keller Williams Larchmont office, and he very intentionally set out to win new clients through golf. Right. So he's at the Wilshire Country Club, and he was working with his coach, and he told his coach this was his plan. His coach said, "What's your golf game? What's your handicap?" I don't know anything about golf, so I have no idea what the answer was. But whatever the answer was, he gave him. Well, his coach said, "That's not good enough. The first thing you have to do is get a golf coach. No one's going to want to play with you." So we got a golf coach. He's upped his game, and now, you know, people are happy to play with him. And he's built his entire business. I don't know that he's doing any of this phone calling. He's certainly not door knocking. He's building his whole business through golf. But how do you get in front of the high net worth and ultra high net worth clients so that they even are willing to have that conversation with you? Mm-hmm. When you look at when you're talking about that 10 million and up, and those 20 million and those 70 million and those $125 million properties that are selling in Los Angeles, which I am not at that level. Let's be very clear about that, because I don't know those people, right? I'm not in front of those people. And when you look at who's getting that business, they're not doing high amounts of business. They're doing 1 or 2 or 3 every couple of years. So why would someone entrust their 120 million or their $50 million property to someone who doesn't do any business? It's because they know them. Mm-hmm. They know them. And it's all about trust and confidence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So how are you showing up to your clients as the local expert? You know, you're knocking on their door. How are you now convincing them that you are the right person to sell their house or help them buy that next $3 million property or whatever? How are you coming across as the expert? We know you look the part, so now what's the next step?
That's very sweet of you. I'm going to, well, you have to know your numbers for one thing. Right? Know your numbers. Sound like you know your numbers. And frankly, a lot of it's just confidence. I mean, it's I don't work in the Beverly Hills market so much, but what I do know is that they had about 5.85% increase in median sales price in 2022 over 2021. I know that they've seen a drop in their inventory by almost 30% this year. I know that the days on market actually went down in Beverly Hills in 2022 over 2021. You know, just knowing some things and people, oh, well, no, he kind of just knows things off his cuff. Well, it's because I look at it in the morning, right? Before I jump on a call with nice people like you, I just kind of refresh myself on what's going on. In the areas that I'm actually working on, we sell in our larger geographic area that we focus on, we sell 10% of every listing sold in the area, which doesn't sound like a huge amount. For some of you all, I can condense that though and say in 3 specific neighborhoods called the Carthay neighborhoods, we have almost 30% of every listing sold. That
That's
sounds
great.
really amazing until you realize that there were only 12 sales.
It's
I'm not
relative,
saying
right?
that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, oh yeah, we sell 30% of everything sold in the Carthay neighborhoods year over year. I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot.
I like it.
So knowing your numbers is one of the most important things you can do. I also am a huge proponent of dressing like a professional. I see we got Mark Benson on the phone there. On there. Hi, Mark. How you doing? You know what Mark always does? He always looks like a professional who's ready to
He
handle
does.
your multi-million-dollar properties. Sandra, you always, every time I've seen you, of course, you always look like a professional, and you present as a professional, right? And so who wouldn't want to give their $4 million listing to Sandra Rathie? So I think you got to present like what you want. Having said that, you know, there's that other philosophy of dress like and be like the people that you're trying to attract. So I know some big time agents who are wearing jeans and t-shirts, but you know, they're really nice jeans, they're really nice t-shirts, right? And they're name brands and this, that, or the other. Don't even ask me about that. That's not quite where my mind goes. But you know, you can you have to dress the part that you need to be, and you have to present yourself as a part, and then of course know your numbers.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds
with
like
the people in my neighborhood, the repetition, just being present and being seen and being known is big. So even though I'm knocking on that door for the 20th time, and they have no intention of selling, they're used to seeing me. They know that I'm not going anywhere. They know that I have staying power.
you become part of the family, like you are
part of the
like
family.
they're relied, you know, their source to rely on because they know you're going to pop
Right.
back up.
And, you know, I think, you know, there's nothing different about that than any other level of sale, right? People just need to know that you're there, that you're real, that you're authentic. Authenticity is a big thing. I'm not pretending that I know what all the different name brands are for the t-shirts and the jeans and everything that you're supposed to wear. I don't even pretend, right? You just can't.
Right.
Having said that, you can know about and you can appreciate. I'm not a high performance vehicle person myself, but I know enough about, you know, Lamborghinis and McLarens and stuff so that I can at least sit in the conversation and go, you know, what I heard about
Right.
Maseratis was blank. Is that true? And, you know, and at least can participate in the conversation.
I like it. I like it, Chuck. So not only do you need to do your homework within real estate and understanding numbers and having at least a little bit to talk about within the luxury environment that you're, you know, trying to have a conversation in, but also be at least familiar with some things that luxury people would be talking about. You don't necessarily have to be an expert on cars or, you know, other things like that, but be able to hang in the conversation and at least know that they're talking about, you know, a Tesla is a car. It's not a, you know, a footstool or something like that, right?
it may be a home battery, but it's, you know, and of course, what's really interesting is just knowing that about your clients. So again, getting back to what you already know about working with clients, know something about them. And so I just found out that my client, Scott, who I sold him his home 6 years ago, just found out that he's actually interested in high performance vehicles, but he's never been involved. Well, he's got the resources to do whatever he wants. And so I was able to connect him to another person I know who's not a client. He's actually this is a little fraught with problems. He's the husband of another real estate agent, but, you know, was able to connect them so that now he can start having those conversations with someone who's operating at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So being a resource as well.
Being a resource. Absolutely.
I like it. And it shows it, you know, when you're able to produce a connection like that for people, now they trust you. They know that you're in that circle, that you are, you know, in that sphere of influence.
Just like any other level, right? People just want coming from a place of service, connecting people who should be connected at whatever level, right? Oh, you need a plumber. Here's a great plumber who's done a great job for us. You know, oh, you need someone who works only in high-rise condos. Well, here's someone that we know who works in high-rise condos and has the appropriate insurance and coverage to do that, or the patience to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. So Chuck, I think that if I remember correctly, one of the big things that you guys do is you really do a concierge program getting listings ready. So like you're talking about all these recommendations and referrals of people. That's one of the things that you guys are heavily involved in. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we nationally, the amount of time that listing agents spend per listing, the average is somewhere between 4 and 5 hours for the entire listing. We're spending 30 to 40 hours before we even go live, right? Because what we're doing when we're working with our clients is helping them to make this taking as much off their shoulders as possible, to make this as easy as possible, make it as easy as possible for them to choose us to do this. Now, again, the commissions are a lot higher, obviously. So financially, it makes sense to do that. It would not make sense to do that someplace where the average price point is $200,000, right? So I don't mean to imply that this is what people should be doing at all, wherever they are. What I can say is here, the expectation and the way that we can be of service is by helping these people who are extraordinarily busy. They've got a lot on their plate. And they have a lot to gain by getting their home in a certain condition so they can sell at a higher price, right? And then, of course, our commission goes up because of that as well, which is not so shabby, but that's not actually why we're doing it. We're doing it because this is the service we can provide. So usually we have 2 or 3 appointments before they ever sign, right? And sometimes we're working with them 6, 9, 12 months. As a matter of fact, what we know is on average, we took a look at it once and we did our best to calculate it. On average, for us, from the moment we find out someone's potentially interested in selling to when they actually close is about 9 months.
Interesting. I love that you have that statistic.
Yeah, I don't know what it is right now because I haven't done that in a couple of years, but pre-pandemic, that's what it was.
Okay.
And so, but what that means is we're sitting down first with them and just having a conversation about what would it look like and what are the possibilities and what are the things they might need to do to prepare their home. And then we might go back and have a little bit more of a conversation. Hopefully at that point they'll sign a listing agreement, but we have to have them sign something before we actually start working with them and giving away too much stuff. You learned that lesson a couple of times.
Yeah, that's a great, talk to us a little bit about that, because I know that my team in particular, we suffer from that a bit where, we go in and we try to help them, and then all of a sudden they sign with somebody else and we've already spent, 10 hours. We've given them all of our handymen and contractors and thank you. They used everything that we gave them, but didn't sign with us. How do you kind of balance that?
So Sandra, it sounds like you really would like our help in getting this all ready and helping to. We'll actually meet the contractors. We'll get the bids. We'll get them in the door. You don't even have to be here. Matter of fact, it's almost easier if you're not here. Does that sound like a great a way to go for you? Well, yes, it does. Awesome. So let's sign the listing agreement. That gives us the permission to work on your behalf. Without that, I can't do all this for you because I don't work for you yet. So let's get this formality done. Now we're also going to stipulate that we're not marketing you yet. You're not going on the market, right? Because we have a special form here in California. It's called the seller exclusion from the multiple listing service form. And so whenever we sign the listing, we always get that signed because we're never going live that day or the next day. We're going to be working for a couple months together first, and then we will go ahead and get you live on the market. We'll do a modification of terms when we go live, and we'll restart the listing date as of that day, and we'll get somebody that says, go ahead and put this on the multiple listing service. But getting that signed, and that's our leverage. It's like, oh, you want our help? We can't wait to get started. This is the listing agreement. We got to have this signed in order to have permission to work for you.
Got it. Well, that's great. Now, what if you have the person who says, I'm just really not ready to sign that yet, but I do want to get started getting ready? Yeah,
absolutely. So what is it that's preventing you from wanting to sign the listing agreement?
Well, my husband's traveling and, he really needs to meet you, but he's not going to be back for 2 months. He's, in Singapore.
Right. Isn't that wonderful that we've got Zoom now? When can we set up a point? We only need 15 minutes of his time.
Yeah,
that's
really,
all we need.
really
when can
busy.
we set up that? Yeah, I know. And isn't it worth it for him to know who he's working with in order to get one of his most valuable assets signed?
All right, I'll ask him.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, you just gotta, I mean, at
So
some
do
point you
you-
just gotta say, absolutely, I'm not gonna do any work for you until you sign a listing agreement. Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Which I've actually said to someone before, no, we're not getting started until you sign this. That's not good
And you
for you,
said
and
it
it's
was
not
such
good
a
for us.
smile that they signed, didn't they?
Yeah, and my husband has a Southern accent, so that helps.
Oh, that smooths it right over, right?
You can get away with murder with that here.
I love it. I love it. All right. How about Brady always talks about the surprise and delight that he does, in his process. Do you guys do something similar or have your own process?
Yeah, and Brady is the platinum standard. He's not even the gold standard. He's so much higher, right? And what he does at such a high level is such an inspiration, such a goal for us. And what I can say is we do not implement that at the level that he does. It's something that we're working on. We actually do a 3-stage, not a 5-stage surprise and delight. Okay. And so when someone signs actually, as soon as we have an appointment with them, even usually before they've signed, because again, usually it takes 2 or 3 appointments before they'll sign. There are very, very few come list me's. Very few of those. In general, it's a process over multiple weeks. Okay. But we, after the initial appointment, we send an orchid. It's about $75, and it gets delivered to their home, and of course a thank you note goes along with it. When they actually go on the market, we send candles to them, and it's things that can be used in the open house or not. But they've got our logo on them, and they smell incredible, and people love them. And again, just little things. By the way, quick note about gifts for your ultra high net worth and your high net worth clients. By the way, high net worth generally means $5 million assets and above. Ultra high net worth generally means $30 million in assets and above. Ultra high net worth and high net worth clients and luxury are not the same thing, right? The Venn diagram has a lot of overlap, right? But you can be working with those clients and not be providing a luxury experience, or you can be providing a luxury experience and not particularly working with ultra high net worth clients, right? Because luxury is about an experience. What is the experience that you're providing? And we like to say that we treat our luxury clients the same way we treat our low-income clients. It sounds kind of wacky, but it's true, because we also treat our $300,000 clients like we treat our $4 million clients, right? We provide a luxury experience regardless of what your income level is, because it's the experience that matters. It's how you make people feel. What's that wonderful Maya Angelou quote, right? It's not what you say you do, it's how you make someone feel. And that is why they're going to remember you, or that's what they're going to remember about you. So, I say that because I think it's important to understand that you can provide extraordinary service to those ultra high net worth clients and not provide a luxury experience, right? But it's really competent and really excellent, because what those people who are operating at those levels with that much money, and they're getting bombarded every day with opportunities and possibilities and requests for money and people trying to take advantage of them, right? All over the place. We worked for a client who their family owns a conglomerate that you all would know, and it was really interesting working with them. I mean, these are billionaires, right? They can afford anything, right? Anything we're showing, they absolutely can afford it. But they were so concerned about being taken. They were so concerned about someone being dishonest or something not being of value. So they're looking for value. They're fine with spending X amount on something. They just have to know that they're not being taken for a ride, right? And that means they have to trust you. So we are. What was the original question again? And actually, my earbuds are about ready to go out. Let me switch to oh no, where are they? Well, we're going to switch to computer. Give me just a second.
So while you're doing that, if you can hear me, Chuck, the original question was about Brady's surprise and delight, if you were following his system. And I think you got us through the orchid and the candle.
Yeah, let me switch to
Technology.
There. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we sure can.
Awesome. All right. So we do the candle, and then of course at the very end, we started doing something which I always thought was so corny until someone sent them to me. Those Cutco knives with your little logo on them. We entertain a lot.
Okay.
We cook a lot, and these knives are spectacular. They're absolutely spectacular. And so we went ahead and started doing those. So we send those out at the end of our sessions as well. What we also try to do is once or twice in the middle of the session, something personal that comes up. If we find out that someone's having a baby, or if someone's, they're a chocoholic or something like that, we'll find a time to get them something like that as well. So we have 3 definite gift times. There are 2 kind of floating ones that we try to present as well.
Okay.
One set of clients, they were so excited about their new home. It's a beautiful $3 million home in the hills, and they had a fireplace for the very first time. And so we ended up instead of giving them the knives, we got them a cord of wood.
Oh, that's so nice.
So we actually we built in front of them, we built the wood holder, assembled that, and then the wood got delivered within an hour. And so now they have this entire cord of wood to, use in their fireplace.
That's awesome. And who's actually ordering, like picking out the gift and ordering it and having it, like, is somebody delivering it? Like, how does the logistics of it work?
Personal ones are really done by the agent working with the client. Right.
Okay.
The 3 other ones are handled by the admin in our office.
Got it. Okay.
Because it's coming,
I think
it's coming from the team, right? It's not coming from the agent, it's coming from the team.
Okay. And then the personal gift is more from you or from the team?
The person who's working with, the agent who's working with them. Now we'll pay for it, but they'll, because they're the ones who know.
Right. Got it. I think Mark Benson had his digital hand up. Mark,
Hi,
did you have a
Chuck.
question?
It sounded like as though you were going to say something about the distinction perhaps between the kind of gift or the quality of the gift, et cetera, that you give to a high net worth person versus an ultra high net worth person.
The point being is they've got money. They don't need us to buy them things. Right. And so oftentimes people are wondering, well, should I spend a lot more with a high net worth client than when? Not necessarily, no. It's the thoughtfulness of it that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not the amount. I'm going to spend $500, on this person, or $1,000 because I just made this amazing commission with them. Now, if I sold a $10 million property, I probably would give us slightly nicer gift than just the Cutco knives, unless I knew that they were home chefs and that's what they would want, right? But the fact of the matter is it's the thoughtfulness that's important. It's not the amount.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck. That's good clarification.
As a matter of fact, you might be wasting your money sending them gifts sometimes, right? Case in point, we did a whenever we do something like a raffle, or we try different things to get people to sign in at open houses or whatever, and we're giving away an iPad. This was like 6 or 7 years ago when iPads were still not quite as ubiquitous as they are now. No one cared. No one cared. They've got their own iPads. They want an iPad, they got an iPad. Right? It's just there's no, oh, you do this and you'll get this, free whatever, even a high-end thing. And it's like people are just like, I've already got one,
Or two or three.
or if I wanted one, I'd buy one. So it's just it's like, okay, well, that's not the sort of thing.
Right. So it's more about being creative and coming up with something that shows that you paid attention to them and you understand their desires and interests. And I know I recently closed one of my biggest deals, and I didn't really get to know them. I showed them literally one house and they bought it and we closed, and I'm like, what am I going to get these people? So when I did the walkthrough, I asked the questions that led me to what is it they're interested in. Like they talked about creating a wine room. Oh, what kind of wine do you like? And white wine. Okay, what kind of white wine and from what area? And I'm not a great wine snob or anything, but I asked enough questions that I was able to get to where I needed to be. And then I came back a week later with the gifts, and they were thoughtful because they actually matched what the client wanted. But it was hard. It wasn't not always easy. I did. And I think that they will remember that, even though I didn't buy them $1,000 bottle of wine, but it was a nice bottle, but it was what they wanted. It was the type that they enjoy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Steve had his digital hand up as well.
Hey, Chuck and Sandra. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
I heard something recently I liked about like a sentimental gift for someone who has everything, to get something for their partner or their kids instead. So I thought that was a good idea too. Curious your thoughts on that.
I think that is the thought. That's brilliant. Anytime you can suck up to their kids, do. I mean, it's if it's authentic.
Yeah.
It's authentic. Or at least ironic. We had some clients, they had triplets, right? What do you get a client's triplets for their birthday? We got them boxes and markers.
Nice.
They played, those 6-year-olds played with those markers and those boxes for weeks. They're like crumbling in their rooms, and unsafe to be in anymore. And it was brilliant. Wasn't expensive.
Yeah. And it kept them entertained at the same time. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yes. Thank you, Steve.
I know that Chuck has to get to another meeting a little bit earlier than our usual ending time.
It was canceled. So
yay!
Got me.
Oh, we got the full hour with Chuck.
Got the full hour with Chuck, you lucky devils.
I love it. Okay, so then I'm going to ask one more question and then we'll open it up for questions. My question is, how are you staying in touch with your past clients, whether they're buyers or sellers? It could be a seller who moved to Florida. How are you staying in touch?
So interesting. I have clients who moved to Fort Lauderdale, and I still call them. And the last time I called, I said, "Why do you call still? We're not." It's like, yes, but you have friends here still, don't you? And they said, "Well, yeah." So there you go. Who do you know in Los Angeles that's thinking about buying or selling real estate? Well, and conversely, frankly, you're there in Florida. Who do you know that's thinking? Because I've got some amazing, will treat you exceptionally well, or your friends exceptionally well. Real estate agent friends of mine, they're right there in Boca Raton. So, who do you know?
I love that. So you're actually flipping it to, I can still help you, even though you're not here. Like if you have a real estate need, I can help you with a great agent out there.
Added benefit of being true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's all the same 36 touch stuff, right? I mean, the hard part of getting to the luxury clients is getting their information, but once they're a client, you've got their information. So it's all the same old. And people love it when you think of them. So John and I just last week, did 160 personalized videos that we sent out to 160 of our past clients. We have a lot
Wow.
more past clients. We have Christmas cards going out to absolutely everybody, but we have 106. Well, it's not even 160. It's probably closer to 300 because most of them are couples. So 300 people that we reached out to and got a hold of last week just by sending these sweet little, I mean, they're 20-30-second videos. We text them to them, and the response we get is overwhelming.
Oh,
Oh my
that's so
God,
sweet.
I can't believe you did these. Oh, these are sweet videos. Oh, there's a brilliant.
so easy too, right?
I'm sorry?
It's super easy too, right?
Super easy. It is super easy. So we got just a nice back. We had a fireplace behind us and some poinsettias, you know, a little stockings hanging from the fireplace. And we have to be a little careful because the majority of our clients are Jewish.
Okay.
So we steer away from Christmas specifically, but it's the holiday season and everyone participates in that we're working with. So it's okay if it's a little fraught with danger. It's super. So we got a little script that we do. We just kind of come up with, and we do it 160 times. I mean, we've got a list, right, of everyone we're going to be calling. As we go through, I mark that we did a video for them. I don't send them immediately. We do all the videos. So it's just over and over and over and over and over again, doing the same thing and trying to keep that happiness on your face after the, 50th time, and then you still got another 100 to go. Obviously we split it up a little bit over 2 days, but and then I go back and just on my own, I just send the text from my phone because John doesn't have to sit through that.
Okay.
We need to us today. But it was, people love that. They obviously people love getting stuff in the mail, even just a note card.
Right.
Just something.
And so, Chuck, a lot of people are a little afraid of the video. I'm not gonna lie, I'm completely terrified.
Yes, we talked about this.
Yes, totally terrified. So
Are you terrified right now?
a little bit, yeah, of course.
Yeah, look how wonderful you're doing.
Thank you, Chuck. But seriously, so speak to that for just a minute. How do you get past that, or how do you get all of these videos done in such a short time? Like literally, I tried to do a little video for a regional event I spoke at. I must have redone that video 25 times, and finally I said, "It's just going. I can't do it again."
Just get there faster. I'm serious.
That's good advice.
1, 2. Well, for these videos, they were just one takes. I mean, they're
Like you
if you're
weren't even
calling
gonna worry
someone
about
up, you're not worried about calling someone up, right? It's like, hey, how you doing? Happy holidays. Great to see you earlier this year at such and such, and just wanted to send some holiday love your way. So soak it on up. And hope that you and your family are doing well. It's great to have a chance to send something to you. Done.
Oh, and that's so sweet.
That was
So
it. That
simple
was
and
practically
sweet.
the script.
Okay, so you're not overthinking it.
Absolutely not. That's not what these are about, right?
Got it.
These are about authenticity, and that's when we're talking about luxury clients, we're talking about authenticity all the way. So don't be perfect. As a matter of fact, do not have the most perfect stuff, and do not do multiple takes. Do not do it. If you screw up, John accidentally said happy birthday instead of happy holidays. Right. And he looked at me and I looked at him. I said, happy birthday. He said, happy birthday. I said, how about happy holiday? Okay, all right. So, but that video went out. Why? Who doesn't want to see a blooper?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. Why? This isn't going on NBC. This is a heartfelt hello. I was just thinking of you. Send it. Done.
And the
By
bloopers
way,
were
same thing
memorable
with
even.
your social media. People get over concerned about their social media, and just do it. Screw it up. Don't screw it up so bad that if it gets really screwed up, you don't send it. But at the end of the day, be imperfect. Be you.
Mhm.
Be you without all the makeup on, be you with all of a sudden some loud noise happens off in the distance, right? It's absolutely okay. That's what people want.
So when the cat jumps on me, I can go ahead with that.
With the what?
When my cat jumps on me, which happens all the time,
Yeah.
I can keep going with that video.
Please do. Matter of fact, that's even better. We just put a social media post down with John clipping hair out of my ears. While we're in the middle of doing it, the guy, sorry, John says, wait, hold on. He comes up, he started clipping. Guy caught it, and then he put it on the social media. People love stuff like that. It wasn't gross, just to be clear, but it was, it was sweet and a little weird, and people just want authentic.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Just be heartfelt.
Awesome. So let's open it up to questions from everybody else. If anybody has any questions, I think Davies is usually really good at helping us manage that. You can put it in the chat or raise your digital hand. I'm not an expert at how this works, but.
All right, guys, this is a great opportunity. I do want to start with one question. Sorry, Mark, I did see your hand go up, but it's just a simple question about the candles. What company do you order them
Lost
from,
Davies.
where you can get your
All
logo?
right, I don't hear Davies anymore.
Right.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we got you. You're back.
All right, candles. What company do you order them from that you are able to get your logo and the branding on there?
Yeah. So you're gonna hate the answer. We use a local
Um,
company.
I think
Aw,
we've lost
man,
Davies.
Chuck.
And the point being, use local. People love that, right? Whenever possible, there's probably someone who's doing, if it's not candles, it might be something else.
I'm not sure if
But-
everybody's frozen or not, but Chuck, I think I heard you say you put it.
Oh, no, I think it's you, Sandra, because I was able, I don't know about you guys, but he was loud and clear.
Can you hear
Okay,
me now,
okay, I'll
Sandy?
just be quiet. You run the show.
Chuck, you're on the show, so local. So
Local,
small
yeah,
business.
we like to use local whenever possible. And there's a story about it. We actually went, well, we used Timothy J candles, and Timothy J candles, they actually specifically hire people in the Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous program who have hit rock bottom. They're trying to get their feet back underneath them. He hires them to actually do the work. Sometimes it's their first job they've had in years. I mean, it's a great story, right? And oh, by the way, we actually created the scent ourselves. So we went down and we told him kind of what we wanted, and he came up with it, and he named it after us, and that's really fun, and that's on the sticker that's on the bottom of the candle. And when it's local and you can do something more personal like that, now you've got a story. So when you give the candle and you start talking about it and they rave about it, you know what, here's the story about this place. Now you've got something great to talk about, and you're promoting a local business. Who doesn't want to do that?
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So whatever it is, try to come up with something a little unique.
That's pretty cool. Thank you for that. Mark.
Chuck, is there someone or an event that you're attending or plan to attend soon that inspires you that perhaps the rest of us are not aware of? Someone on your radar that we should put on ours?
With regards to luxury in particular?
Yes.
So
Or it could be somebody who tried and true. It doesn't have to be necessarily someone obscure.
That's a really good question, Mark. You're stumping me here. I can give the generic response, and that is the Keller Williams Luxury Network is extraordinary. The training that they have and the functions they have are pretty amazing. If you're going to family reunion, there's going to be a whole luxury track. And what I'd say is just getting used to being around those people. Get around the people you want to be like, or you want to be a part of, right? And listen to the conversations and be present in that space. So anything that Keller Williams Luxury has online right now, just go for it. Take a look at it.
And did you develop your skills at the door knocking on your own, or did you have someone who coached you along the way?
So my partner John and our then business partner used to do door knocking, and so we would go as a group, right? And of course, the first time or two that I went out, we went together to each door. But then after that, you just kind of have to do it. Something I just kind of realized not too long ago is I've been doing door knocking all my life. I was that kid back in sixth grade going from door to door selling Christmas candles or candy or whatever it was for whatever fundraiser that we were doing at the time at our school. And it just kind of hit me. It's like, I've always done some form of door knocking. So it's not really a scary thing for me to do. There are a few safety and security concerns when door knocking. Just FYI, I always feel compelled to say if anyone's ever considering doing that, and that is don't enter a home. I never enter a home without texting someone on my team that I'm entering a home and exactly what that address is. And I let the person know, and I don't care if it's an 80-year-old, 4'6" woman or whatnot that I'm going into. I'm letting them know, oh, here, I've just got to let my partner know I'm entering a home for security reasons. Because I want them to know beforehand that someone else knows where I am. I don't want to be found later. Right. So I tell the person whose home I'm going into that I'm texting someone to let them know that I'm entering a home.
That's smart. Very smart, Chuck.
Safety is very important. So I wish I had a better answer for you, Mark. I'm coming up blank at this moment.
I know I put you on the spot.
Yeah, good for you. Stump the Chuck.
All right, team. What other questions do we have? It could be something that he didn't talk about, right? Put him on the spot again. Sorry, Chuck.
Do you have anything like we have in our area, Luxury Chamber of Commerce? Do you have any other networking groups that you belong to or participate in that, in addition to this sort of the direct marketing that you're doing?
So that is a great question. The luxury networking that happens here isn't. This is going to sound really, really snooty. Okay, this is going to sound awful. The fact of the matter is just pretty much wherever you go, it's going to be a luxury networking event, right? Whether it's specifically luxury or not. We don't have a luxury Keller Williams like meetup here in LA. There's not a thing along those lines. Having said that, I have been invited to be a part of a national luxury concierge service, which is not in LA right now. They would like to open up an LA thing. And so that's going to be creating an entire luxury network of people. And there's only one person from each industry in that luxury network. So you've got one luxury real estate, you have one, you've got one luxury car representative, you have one hotel chain, luxury, probably boutique luxury experience chain, member. So it's creating this thing, an atelier, a cobbler or whatever, right? So there are things like that, but the fact of the matter is you're surrounded by people who are operating at those levels if you put your mind half to it. I can't recommend Keller Williams luxury events enough, by the way. They are operating at such a high level right now, and you get to meet people like Sandy.
Thank you, Chuck.
One more question for you. Do you have any books you would recommend, either focused on luxury or just general real estate or business?
Absolutely. So, and thank you for that question. So there are a number of books that are great. The one, of course, that really stands out is the one about the Ritz-Carlton. And Sandy, Mark, help me out. What's the name of it? I can run over to the next office and grab it, but it's
the new gold standard.
The new gold standard. Thank you. Yeah, that's brilliant. I can't recommend that highly enough. And if you're going to read only one book about providing a luxury experience, read that book. And it's example after example after example. I mean, just great stories about how the Ritz-Carlton creates this exceptional and extraordinary experience for their clients. One thing that really stands out for me from that book is it's not about efficiency. The luxury experience is not about efficiency. It's about exceptional experience, right? It is not efficient to take someone who wants to know where the restroom is and say, please follow me, and then walk them and present them with the restroom. And, you know, is there anything else that I can help you with, you know, later, you know, after that? But, you know, and then walking back, you could have just pointed, oh, just go down, it's down to the end of the hall and to the right. Next. That's not a luxury experience, right? So what I love about that book is that it just gives you so many concrete things that you can do in your business.
And there are a lot
Thanks.
of easy things too, right, Chuck? A lot of
Easy
things
things.
that are so simple and it doesn't take really any extra time. It's just, you know, an extra 2 seconds the way you answer versus your normal response.
Right. I should reread it. Thank you for bringing that up. I need to reread that book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Think
agree.
of
Me
any other
too.
examples.
I like the takeaway because I feel like in business, it's always about efficiency.
Right. And again, luxury is about the experience.
So in the book, Horst Schulze was the former chairman of the board of Ritz-Carlton Hotels. And if you look for him on YouTube, there are a number of interviews that he's given. Some of them are up to an hour, but there are great pearls of wisdom in those videos on YouTube.
Sorry, what was his name?
Horst, H-O-R-S-T, Schulze, S-C-H-U-L-Z-E. You'll find him you'll find him frequently mentioned in the book. And he may have been a co-author if I remember correctly.
I have a quick question. As far as you're signing the people on the listing agreement, you mentioned like if there's going to be work done to the property, is there a limit as to how far out? And do you tack on the 12 months from the shooting date that they expect it to be ready? Or are you including it all in
So
one?
because that's a great question.
Excuse me.
In general, when we're signing that listing agreement, we are starting work with them right away. And when I say starting work, we're talking within a couple of days after that signing of the listing agreement, we come back and either John or I, whoever is the lead on the listing, will come with our client care coordinator, Jocelyn, who's amazing. And we will start at the front curb and we'll go through throughout the entire house and to the back of the lot, and we'll make a list of everything that we think that they should do to net the most money possible on the sale of their home, right? And be careful, I'm using the word net. Now we can help you to sell the place for a lot more, but if you're going to put, you know, $50,000 into it and only make $50,000 more at the end of the day, or gross $50,000 more at the end of the day, why bother, right? The point is to net the most money possible. If you could put $25,000 in and sell for $100,000 more, well, that's a 3-to-1, you know, return on investment. Who doesn't want to do that? So we start with that, and then we make a list of everything that needs to be done. Usually what we're talking about are the things that you would think of, right? There's going to be painting, there's going to be a lot of maintenance-y things. We actually do seller inspections as well. So we do a general inspection, a chimney, a sewer line, termite, which are ubiquitous here in LA. Every house has termites. And then if there are any specific issues, like a particular foundation issue or anything major comes up, we get estimates for repair, which we don't necessarily do the repair, but at least we have the estimates for repair. So we've qualified what the problem is and we've quantified what it is. So when we put it on the market, people know what they're getting. But we'll actually go through and make sure that we actually talk to the painters and get the bids and the flooring people and whoever it is that we need to do to get them out there. We oversee all that. It's almost easier, frankly, if the folks are out of the house and just let us take care of it. We can get things done super fast. So, and then here in LA, 95% plus of homes are staged. And when we say stage, we mean your stuff's out, new furniture and everything is in, and it is professionally staged, and costs usually for a 2,000 square foot home, somewhere around $10,000 to stage the home. So we do all of that. We, depending on how much needs to be done and what the schedules are, usually that's happening within the first 2 months. And usually we're on the market within 3 months. And oftentimes we're working 6 to 10 months out. So to answer your question, we'll sign for however long we think it's going to be. But then the day it goes live on the market, we have them sign a modification of terms, which restarts the listing date. So let's say we would restart it today, what is this, the 12th, the 13th, 10th? Can't read I don't have my glasses on. And then we end the expiration date for 6 months later. So it doesn't even matter what we sign for. We're starting over with a modification of terms at that time.
So smart.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, guys, I think we are out of time and we want to be respectful of your time, but I appreciate you all hung in all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. I know it's hard to hang up on Chuck because he's so amazing.
Can I put in a quick plug?
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously, we'd love to help you and your clients here in Southern California. And I'm going to very specifically use the term Southern California as opposed to Los Angeles, because who knows what Los Angeles means, right? That could mean 1,000 different things. So we are also part of the Keller Williams SoCal Mastermind Group, which are the top teams from throughout Southern California, everywhere from Palm Springs to Santa Barbara, Fresno, down to San Diego and everything in between. So if you have a client need here, just think Chuck Marquardt and the Barentine Group. Just give me a call. If it's outside an area that I can service at a high level, I know exactly who you should be talking to, whether it's Chesy Pagano in Orange County or Brady Sandal or Grace Miranda up in Santa Clarita. Just give me a call. We'll get you in touch with the right people.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you here today. And if you need anything from South Florida, let us know.
Absolutely. It's good to be with everybody. Nice to see you, Mark.
Nice to see you, Chuck. Thank you, Sandy.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chuck, you left that name out.
Sandy.
Sandy.
Yes. Good to see you, Sandy.
All right. Thank you, guys. Great to see you. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. All
Bye-bye.
right.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Sandra.